Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Hentges with Beyond the Chart, and in this technical analysis of the stock market video, we're going to take a quick look at the market action this last week and then check in on three stocks: YELP, FireEye, and Tesla. So stay tuned. Okay, we're going to start off here with the Dow Industrials. The Dow was up almost 80 points on Friday. So we've got a little short-term downtrend. The moving average cross has occurred, and on the Dow Industrials, that is the first time that's happened. First time the 10's been back below the 21 since back in mid-February. Now, just because it's crossed doesn't mean we can't get some chop like we did back up in here. But, it does seem like it's trying to say that, okay, some things may be changing in here. So that's what we're watching right now. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Same type thing, although the moving average is not as strong in terms of the cross that has occurred. But again, it is the first time that it's back below since February. It was up 6.7 points, 6.77 on Friday. Closed on its high, and kind of a little bullish candle, but you need follow through to make sure that that's the case. Let's take a look at the weekly charts on the Dow. The last 2 weeks have been down. We're not getting closes like this week didn't close below the last 2 weeks. We're down 33 points for the week. So we could have the top I've been waiting for in here. It could be the end of this wave 2. That's what I'm expecting, but need to get closing below this 10-week exponential moving average to continue the turnover. The Russell 2000, this and the New York Composite has been the weaker indices, and the fact that they're very broad, I've talked about this, I think has negative implications for the stock market. I count this one a little bit differently in my wave count. I continue to count it as 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're counting minute waves within the minor wave 3 down, and that's the way I'm counting it. Now, the Russell 2000 did close below the low of the last 2 weeks of trading, 2 down weeks in a row here. But again, we need to get it back below the 10 to start to have to resume the downtrend. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX had a pretty big move down yesterday, closing back below the 10. We'd had a whole series of 6 days riding up above the 10. Really thought this was going to go. I'm going to still leave this little comment here because I'm looking for the possibility that if we get a close above this midday here, that I think it's midpoint is what I mean. And we get a close above that, I think that little double bottom has formed and confirmed. But if we continue to trend back down in here, then that's going to be suspect as to whether that's really the case. All right, let's take a look at the semiconductors and see how they're doing on a weekly basis, SMH. So I'm labeling this here as 1, 2, 1, 2 as opposed to a flat. Of course, it could be a flat, but right now this is the way it looks to me. Now we've had, let's see, was this a down week? I'm not sure it was. 54.61, 54 now. So we've had 3 down weeks in a row now in here. But actually, 5 weeks where, dark bars where the close was below the opening for the week. So selling pressure started to kick in now as opposed to the indices we just looked at. We now have 2 closes below the 10-week moving average here on SMH. So there's a good chance that this thing is starting the rollover process here. The home builders, not quite as negative as the semiconductors are looking in terms of the close down below the 10, but again, two negative weeks in here after this pullback to the 55-week. I'm using 55.21 and the 10 exponential. And this has the possibility, I put this little horizontal bar in here because it just fit these 2 pivot points pretty nicely, that we're putting in a big top, but of course we need to get this thing to turn over to the right to confirm all that. The financials, they faked us out back here in early April where we got the close, came back up here, strong downward trending 21 week. Got to close back below several weeks, 3 weeks of trading range, and then it just reversed and went the other way. So it just wasn't done moving yet. And as of right now, I mean, we've got a lower high, but I need to get a couple more weeks, closing below the 10, just like I talked about on the last two. All right, that's it for a little snapshot of the market. Let's take a look at, I'm going to look at FireEye first. And looking at it on a weekly basis, this is all the trading on FireEye. So you can see from this peak back up here in the 90s, 97 high, it's had a heck of a move. It looks like a three-legged A, B, C move down. Now you'd think it's starting to try to put in a bottom, and I'm sure a lot of people probably thought that right in here. What was the low on the week? $11.35 intra-week low. But this last week, we got a 25% drop in this stock when earnings came out. Now, in terms of trying to, take a position or get back into this thing, let's say you're looking at it and you want to get in. I think you got to wait to the 10, like when I'm looking at this, the 10's got to get above the 21, which it really hasn't done in here. And it's got to turn, kind of like what it did back over here. And it may take some chop before it's ready to put in a base. But if it takes out this low here, that's going to be pretty negative. It's a big downdraft that it's got. But you need to let, the stock tell you it's ready to go up. And right now, it's not saying that. Okay, the next one is YELP. Take a look at YELP. YELP had a big move today. Again, this is a weekly chart. I'm counting that I had 5 major waves up, or 5 what I'm calling intermediate waves, and primary wave 1. Now, you could call it a cycle wave 1 also, but a 5-wave sequence to the high side, impulse wave, and now we're doing this big corrective move back that it's been doing now since, when was this high? This high was March 2014. So for over 2 years, YELP has been in decline. And, this retraced almost the entire wave. The low, $14.53. The low, $14.10. So now, we got this move. There's publicity about one of the fund managers stepping in and having a big buy on it. The earnings came out. They were happy with it. So we got a big move up this week, up $5.50. So I'm not sure what probably a little over 20%, maybe almost 25%. Didn't do the math. But it's broken this downtrend, but we still don't have like a moving average cross, or if we do, it's just the 10 is right at the 21. The 21 still declining. So it's got some work in here to turn, but it looks like it's trying to do that. And right now, I'm just seeing 3 waves, which is corrective type stuff. So we're going to need to see 5 waves or moving average cross and some more of a turn rather than just one little break in here. But that's the picture on YELP. I mean, this is, it's a bullish sign that it finally broke the downtrend, but it's got a lot more work to do. Tesla, let's take a look at the daily chart first, then I've got a weekly chart. I think this Tesla has been for months now, months and months, has been going through large corrective process, and we'll look at it on a weekly basis on a bigger picture. But right now, I think there's a good chance this was a first impulsive wave up, and that we're doing a second corrective wave down, and that this is part of a new primary wave 3 to move higher. That's what I think is going on here. And part of this is when you look at the trends here. Look at this angle of ascent of this move. Whereas look at this in the corrective action, it's choppy and it's kind of it's less steep. Same here. Over kind of choppy and less steep. Whereas look at the moves in the impulsive moves when it's in that impulse mode, primary 1. And let's take a look at it on a weekly basis. Tesla weekly, where are you? There we are. This is the big picture. This is all the trading on Tesla. That's why I think we had a primary wave 1 completed back here on February 2014. Again, a little over 2 years ago. And what we've been doing is just correcting sideways. I think that corrective action may have completed itself right here with this week of February 12th, week ending February 12th of this year. And so now I think there's a really good chance that we're heading up this higher. I'd like to see it's got to take out these highs. So, you know, back to the daily chart, and you look at it and say, well, okay, what about the corrective mode in here? It's corrected almost 50% of this move. So now we just got to watch for a turn higher, I think. It's not quite there, almost 50%. We do, you know, the short-term trend is down. There is no doubt. The moving average crossed here. So just like when the moving average crosses to the downside, and right here, you're in a downtrend. So you got to wait for price to tell you. So we'll continue to watch this to see if it's going to turn higher. That's what I'm expecting on Tesla. All right, a little bit longer than I expected, but wanted to cover those 3 stocks that are in the news this week. I hope you found that helpful. If you're watching this anywhere besides my website, head on over there, check out the website and the posts. And the post today, what am I calling it? I think it's 3 keys to, I'm not looking at it, 3 keys to trading. 3 keys to help you trading anyway. So I think you'll find that interesting. Head on over there and check that out. All right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on the next video.